Breathe better and sleep deeper with the Levoit Classic 160 Top Fill Humidifier. Don't wait. Check out the link in the video description to get your Levoit Top Fill Humidifier on Amazon today and enjoy a healthier, more comfortable home. In the world of European basketball, where talent and strategy collide, the Fantasy Challenge podcast has become a go-to destination for fans seeking expert advice and team insights. And what better way to dive into that pool than by joining Javi and Vasiliki on their latest episode? In episode numero 14, these fantasy enthusiasts are gearing up for round 19 of the EuroLeague season, and they're sharing all the secrets to making your Fantasy Challenge team a champion. From their own team strategies to expert tips and player advice, this podcast is packed with everything you need to know to take your fantasy game to the next level. So let's get straight into it. Javi and Vasiliki are both seasoned EuroLeague fans with years of experience under their belts. And when it comes to fantasy basketball, they're not just knowledgeable, they're also fiercely competitive. In this episode, they're sharing some expert advice on how to navigate the Fantasy Challenge format, from understanding team dynamics to identifying key player performances. For those new to the Fantasy Challenge format, it's essential to grasp the concept of team value and player performance. You see, in the EuroLeague, teams are constantly evolving, with players coming and going, and injuries being a major factor in fantasy lineups. That's why Javi and Vasiliki stress the importance of monitoring your team's roster regularly, keeping an eye out for players who are on a hot streak or those who might be about to miss games. One of the key takeaways from this episode is the value of bench players. You see, in fantasy basketball, it's often the big-name stars who dominate our lineups. But what Javi and Vasiliki are keenly highlighting is that the real MVPs can often be found on the team's bench. Players like Pero Antic, who's been producing consistently for his team despite being a low-profile player. Or players like Milan Milutinov, who's shown incredible upside as a young center. Now, we all know that injuries can be a major factor in fantasy basketball. And Javi and Vasiliki are not afraid to share their own experiences with missing games due to injury. From Vasiliki's struggles with his knees to Javi's recent bout of illness, these Fantasy Challenge veterans know firsthand the impact that injuries can have on your team. But don't worry. Javi and Vasiliki are also sharing some expert advice on how to adapt to those unexpected setbacks. Whether it's identifying injury-prone players or having a solid backup plan in place, they're giving fans the tools they need to stay ahead of the game. As we approach round 19, these Fantasy Challenge experts are urging fans to get ready for anything. With key matchups and injuries on the horizon, this is the perfect time to revisit your lineup, adjust your strategy, and get a head start on your opponents. So there you have it. Expert advice from two seasoned EuroLeague fans who know what it takes to win in Fantasy Challenge. Whether you're a casual fan or an avid fantasy enthusiast, Javi and Vasiliki's podcast is a must-listen for anyone looking to take their fantasy game to the next level. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the EuroLeague Insider Podcast.